Ooh, I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna just. Wow, we got it. So I got a call from the city just now, Charlie. This one will either be a good story that will have a weird ending, or it'll just this is just a good story. So I went to Teller County to register, and to register you can register right online to vote. And I tried to register online to vote, and I couldn't. When I put in my information, I couldn't put in my information, and I couldn't register. So then I had to go fill out a piece of paper, which you can't see here, and send it in, or take it in. And I took it in, and I actually took 2 forms of ID. I took a U.S. passport, and I took a Social Security card. I'm not going to give you my Social Security card number, but I took a U.S. passport and a Social Security card to register. Somehow I didn't get entered in. Somehow I didn't get entered in the computer. This is pretty cool information, and I'm pretty stoked to know that we got some sharp folks working in the city. This just goes to show that we got some sharp folks in the city. The people who are actually running this city, they're on top of their game, and I got to give them a shout out, because somebody else, by the way, I got all the candidates and the people who have picked up petitions. We're going to go through that list here in a second, but I want to tell this story. It's just too good to be, it's just too funny. So let's say that I had got a ton of signatures on my petition, and I turned it in, but my registration to vote hadn't been processed by the county, hadn't been entered into the computer right. My petition would be worthless. It wouldn't. My petition and bid for mayor would have been nothing more than getting me a few signatures, and that would have been the end of it. But because I had signed one man's petition, who turned his petition in first for city council, or was one of the first to turn. Only 2 people have actually turned in petitions. He turned his petition in, and my name came across there. She immediately checked my registration, and I wasn't registered to vote. Now, I had turned in a sheet. I'd done the county thing. Turns out I was registered to vote long ago and had just been inactive. This is what I found out, because the city reached out to me. The city called me and said, "Michael, we've seen a problem. We want to tell you about this." And then they even gave me options to come up there, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go deal with the county." And I was trying to go back and forth, and then I just said, "You know what? I'm going to go up there. I'm going to go meet with the city people." So I went up to the city. And, oh, there's beautiful deer walking by my house right now. I should take a break and go take y'all out there. But I went up to the city, and this is going to piss people off, because if they would have let this go, I could have got everybody's signature in town, and it would have been worth nothing. But because they've let me know, and because I have time now to get more signatures, I have to get more signatures at this date, because this date is now the date that the county has officially given me a voter registration card. Even though I was already in the system, and it was a re-registration, she had to reactivate me. It's just been it was kind of a shocker, because I was also checking on some other information to see where that was going to be at when all this stuff shakes down. But it'll be a good story to tell. It's a good story to tell either way. One, it's a good story because the ladies that are running this election They're running it fair. They literally could have. They didn't even have to do. They didn't even have to call me. It's not their responsibility to make sure I'm registered. And we had a conversation, and they went back and listened to the conversation. She's like, but he had to hand take it into the county. He even says it in his thing. And she's like, if it's sitting on a desk there and they don't have it, they didn't even want to. Anyway, it may not have been sitting on for whatever reason. They didn't get my registration, but they got it now. And we're legal. We're officially legal voter. This is the list that everybody's going to be interested in. It's backwards now, but it's probably forwards there. This is my name there. That's because I was just the first to pick up a petition. This is how bad I still am laughing about this registration thing, because this is how bad I'm at paperwork. And it's probably, I don't know if that's good for a mayor or bad for a mayor. I'm good at a lot of other things, and registering to vote was not one of them, obviously, or whatever. So, the flip side of that, if you're watching this and you've signed my petition, I need to meet up with you, and I guess I'm going to have to buy you a cup of coffee, because I have to have you initial by the date in which you signed. In other words, we have to go by your name real quick. You have to initial by the date. Otherwise, your signature is not valid, and it doesn't matter anyway. So I've had a lot of people sign my petition, which means I have to go back, and a lot of people some of these people I just met, so some of them won't get to re-sign my petition unless they reach out to me. Some of them, it won't matter anyway. So, I don't even know. Okay, we're gonna go through this list. This is who's running for council. Michael E. Dalton for mayor. I love how she put my middle initial in there. Michael E. Dalton for mayor. Then we got George Jones. Let's look up George Jones. I've heard a couple of people talk about George Jones. By the way, we ran into David Buttery today while we were down at the city, and I was like, man, you're gonna do an interview with me, and I want to do an interview with him before he hit the road. But he told me because I'm running for mayor, or because I become an official mayor candidate, he can't meet with me now. Otherwise, I'd have just been a press member. And I was like, I'm not official until I turn this petition in. And he was like, you make a valid point there. So he's going to get back with me, and we'll see if he'll meet with me. I just want to meet with the man and talk to him about his history, because he started quoting me on numbers on town's been around 125 years. So let's pick the man's brain while we still got him, And so I figured we'll get the underground scoop one way or another. So we met with him. Who we're going to look up here? We're going to look up these people. We're going to look up some candidates. We're going to do a Google search for George Jones for council. See, some of these people are petitioning, though. You can go down, and if you want to help me get signatures, go down there, grab a petition for Michael E. Dalton for mayor, and go get people to sign it. You can do that. There's some names on here that are interesting to me, and we'll talk about those here in a second. So George Jones is running for council. Kelly Case, most of you guys may have heard of Kelly Case. She was in the Courier. She works with Keller Williams, and is running for council. She's also a former city employee, and so this is getting interesting. There's not that many people, though. We don't have that many people, to be honest. Let's see here. So we have George, Kelly, Mark. Mark is on the ballot. Mark is verified. Markusiak. I don't even know how he says his name. Markusiak. Maruzak. He has an official validated petition, so he's on the ballot. Hillary LeBaron, Neil Levy for mayor. None of these people have turned in petitions. They just picked up petitions. Noel Sawyer has picked up a petition and turned in a petition. He was on top of it. He picked up recorded date, received date on the Oh no, he picked up on the 5th and turned in on the 9th. On top of it, Mike Stinner picked up one for council. John Schaefer, he's already on council, so he's going to rerun. So Noel and John are rerunning. If we want the same old guys are rerunning, so you can get those guys. Pete LeBaron for Hillary LeBaron. So Hillary LeBaron is running, but Pete LeBaron picked up a petition. Hillary LeBaron also picked up a petition. So there's 2 petitions out for Hillary LeBaron, and I guarantee I know who she is. She is Karis. I bet. Let's look her up because she was part of the 3 that were there. Realtor, maybe not. Oh, let's see. Hillary, Cherry Creek, not that one. Let's see here. If we put Hillary LeBaron Karis, let's see what comes up. This might be her. Yep, this is her. I'm pretty sure. 31 people like this. Woodland Park, Colorado. So yeah, this is she looks like she's a real estate agent, a younger real estate agent. Sunrise Realtor Pros. See, I don't know on these people's now that I know who she is, we can find her for real. Let's go see at Hillary. So she's here in Woodlands. So she's a real estate agent. She's got a Denver number, but she is definitely. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I'm pretty sure this. Maybe this isn't. I don't know who she is. We're gonna go find out. That's the thing with the internet. You can just go find out. So these people have, and she has her dad picked up. This is why I think she's a Karis graduate, because there was a young girl there that was. I'll have to go check out. I can go check out the video too. And see, because she had her dad pick up one for her, or Pete, maybe it's her husband. Is she married here? Doesn't look like she's married, at least not on Facebook. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see who these people are. Go out, check, Google them, go find out. You can find out anything about me. You can find out anything about anybody. There are some people you can't find stuff out about them because there's just not anything about them, and they're not on there. And there's nothing bad or good to be said about that. It is simply the world that they are living in. And so she's got it. Let's see. There's her LinkedIn. Let's look at her Twitter. So Hillary's running. Neil, Noel, Mike, John Schaefer, Pete LeBaron picked up one. Val Carr. Here's one. Val Carr's running for mayor. We have been told one way, 2 ways, or another that he may or may not run. He had said things on social media, but he has picked up a petition for mayor. Now, Val's in an interesting position because he can run for mayor, and if he loses, he still retains his council spot. So for him, it's a win-win situation. If he wins, he gets this prestige of mayor, and he kicks off Neil, right? So Neil gets booted if Val wins and doesn't have a council seat. If Val runs and loses, then he still gets to be on council, which is what it is. So I'm 4th generation Colorado. I have an extensive neighborhood knowledge stretching from Colorado Springs to Woodland Park. So this lady is she's a real estate agent. She's active on Twitter, at least up until last year she was. Let's go see personal-wise if she's got a personal deal. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100. I don't want to tie her to Karis yet. I got to get some sort of tie to Karis before I can drain the swamp. I know. Yeah, so if Val runs for mayor, he could get mayor, and then Michelle Perkins picked up for Val. She probably thought I contacted her the other day about that. I wasn't. I was just I was wondering about the other thing, but she and her husband aren't involved. But she picked up a petition for Val Carr. Michelle Perkins, many of you may or may not know Michelle. She's been real active in a lot of organizations around town, as well as she does event management stuff around town. And her husband works at Park State Bank. No. Yeah, Park State Bank. And I've worked with Michelle a couple of times. She brought a movie here. Like, she literally brought a Hollywood movie out to film. They filmed all over Teller County, filmed out in West Creek, filmed down by the AutoZone, filmed all over. And she's done a lot to help promote the town. So she's back in Val Carr. That's going to say a lot because a lot of people like Michelle. And so that's a good thing. I was joking with the city ladies. I don't know if this politic thing is really my cup of tea. I think that I could make a difference. I think I could do some things, but I'm definitely not going to do things like they do. And so if all these guys are trying to just hop, skip around spots, there are some really new people. Here's these are the people I know. So I'm going to tell you. I would 100%, and I don't know if he's not asking me to do this, so turns out, Mark, my signature on your petition was no good. But it's okay, you're still validated. I got the proof right here. You had a lot of signatures. Good job. So Mark is a council running for council. He'd be a good council member. Vote for Mark. Noel is already on council. John is already on council. Mike Stenner. I don't know who Mike is. I want to say I've met him, but I'm not 100% sure. Mike. Oh, the George Jones guy is new. He's like only been in Woodland Park a year or something. But I've heard good things about him already, so at least from what people have said, but I don't know. It's interesting because Mike Stenner and George Jones, Kelly Kay. So Kelly's been around a long time. She's one of the old timers. She's been around here, so that works in her advantage in some ways. In some ways it won't work in her advantage. It's been a long day for me, and this whole thing that went down where they actually called me up and were like, Michael, we have to get you registered and make sure you're good to go and this, that, and the other so that you got some stuff on your petition. That made me happy. On the flip side of it is, man, I saw what's happening. I kind of see some things moving, and like there's some guys that are going to run. There's some guys that are trying to get shifted around in town. I don't know, man. It's a mess. I don't know if I know right now this is like bad because like this is a heavy weighted decision when you start looking at this town and really what these people this is going to be a big decision. I mean, this is a huge decision for the town. Not me. I'm talking about just the people that are on this list. Is this the best Woodland Park's got? Like, is this the best we can come up with? Is this the best list that we can come up with to run for candidates? Now, you still got time, folks. I tell you that because today's the 10th. You could go get a petition signed by 30 of your neighbors and get on this ballot. And do me a favor. Let's... You know, Val Carr sent me a message and told me that I was going to spread the vote too thin. But would it suck more? Does it suck more with 1 or 2 people or 3 people or 4 people running for positions? I don't know. You know, if it does it turn into is it simply a popularity contest? I'm gonna try my hardest to get on the ballot. And now that this whole thing's messed up, I need that much more support. So if you want to come out and write my signature, I'm gonna come by the people's houses that I've actually went and visited. I'm gonna just show up. Hey, can you just initial this? Can you just initial this? Can you just initial this? I'm going to do that. I'm going to get out this next week, and I'm going to hit the streets and actually go out and get people. I've just been going to coffee shops and drinking, doing what I do anyway, and I'd already almost filled my petition. All of those are invalid. If you're just coming on, they're invalid because I wasn't registered to legally vote. And the city saw it. And the city called me up and said, Michael. And they said it didn't go through. And there were some reasons it didn't go through. I had to go do paper ballot. The reason I had to do a paper ballot is because the forms of identification I used. I wanted to use my legal passport and my legal social security card. See, these are identifications. And so I wanted to see how this system is written. I'm a U.S. citizen. I've been in Woodland Park for a long time, and I wanted to see how we just roll this election cycle. And they called me out. They gave me info, and the ladies down at the park may have saved my petition. They may have saved my bid for mayor, and they probably pissed off some people along the way. I saw David Buttery down there. I'm just recapping this video, this long random video about how I got a phone call from the city. Funny thing is I recorded it. Now I didn't record out of respect to them ladies. They didn't even care. They were just asking me now. They're just going, are you recording? And I wasn't recording when I was there, but I did record when she called me.
Well, you registered to vote.
So we were talking here, and let me go here. I thought they were telling me it was going to be too late. No, this is the first. So it wasn't too late, in other words, is what she said to me. And so I went down there and I sat right there with the ladies from the city. So this is also something to learn. If you're not registered to vote, you need to go get registered. I have voter registration forms. The city can help you do this. The county can help you do this. This may, in some of your minds, disqualify me for mayor because you're like, this guy hasn't even been involved. I haven't. I had been so inactive in voting that my registration had lapsed. And so that's really what had happened. She even said that the county said I was registered to vote, but then I let it lapse because I was inactive. And then all of a sudden this guy's running for mayor. What the crap, you know? There's a lot of reasons I'm doing it. One was because nobody else was. And still nobody new is. There is nobody new from this town. Not a new face, not a new name, not a no-namer, like a no-name person. No-name person out there running. It's Val Carr and Mayor Levy. None of them have turned in petitions yet, except the only people who have turned in petitions, and I'm 100% behind Mark Marcusiak. Man, you got to tell me how to say your damn name. Marcusiak. I don't know. It's Marcusiak. Council. Mark, you want to vote for him or don't vote for him, go find out about him. But he has turned in his stuff. There's a couple of people from Karis on here. The big turn that we didn't see coming, or we did see coming, I think we said it, that Val Carr was going to run for mayor. So I'm official. Here's the kicker. If you sign my petition, the date's no good. So that could probably kick me too. Who knows? I'm so bad at this stuff, at the politics thing, that yeah, it's a kicker. But if you don't get involved, then what else? You don't have any say, right? And I guess some people register to vote and other people run for mayor. And now I'm registered to vote and I can run for mayor. So the city is helping me out, which is awesome. I told my wife, I was like, you know, if for some reason I did run and win, like, that's a good story because the city did their job. They made sure that this thing was run fair. And so when is the deadline? The deadline's not till the 22nd, Debbie. So we're going to meet up. I'll come to you. I'll bring you coffee and donuts, whatever. And all you have to do is initial or whatever. If you sign my petition, I think you signed my petition. I feel like an idiot. And it's okay. Like I told her, or like she told me, she's like, Michael, don't worry. We got it taken care of before the deadline, and this gives you time to get your petition cleaned up. And it's literally all you have to do is initial the deal. I'm gonna be at the Ute Pass Brewery telling jokes about running for mayor, and they're giving me 3 to 5 minutes, which is that's an eternity when it comes to comedy. Like for a stand-up, walk-on newcomers, 5 minutes is about the best you're ever going to get. And I'm totally doing political jokes about this town. So that's just going to be fun. It's just jokes and serious too. They did invite Mayor Levy. I don't know if he's going to show up, but either way, we got a schedule for both. Oh, if you're just now joining us, I'm the one that lives on, oh yeah. For you every way I can. Sweet. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. We have no doubt that, I don't know. I doubt everything, but everything is good. It really was a good day. It was this last 2 days have been really crazy for me, just work-wise. I got so much content going out for other stuff. Got to pay bills, and so looking at this, I'm just going, this is brilliant. I love it. The ladies at the city made it happen. They pulled it together. They gave me a phone call, and we got this thing squared away. Now, it's just cool. It's just fun. Yep. We're all good. So we are going to be at the comedy show, Ute Pass Brewery, on Saturday night, telling jokes about running for mayor, talking about politics in this town. I know, right? I'm still surprised, man. Like, tonight is one of those nights that if this thing worked out, I win mayor, right? This is just to get on the ballot. There's a whole line of politicking you got to do. There's a whole campaign. I can already see that, like, the people who have reached out and said, I want to support, like Debbie just said. Well, if I get on the ballot, I'm going to need some support, because it's a different game if you're really going after that. And that would be cool to have some people just help me do some of that, knocking on doors, passing out flyers. We've already had people that have offered even financial backing, which is cool, because I'm against that flyer thing. But you know what? You know what's funny is there ain't that many people in town. So, like, if you hit every door with your name, then I do know the UPS lady, right? I might be able to work a deal. So to put a flyer in everybody's door. It's just funny because I'm sitting here, get a phone call from the city. I even thought, oh, they're about to tell me something. And I thought it was going to be bad. And it turned out they were just wanting to get me more information, make sure everything I had, all my T's were crossed and my dots were I'd, and my I's were dotted. And then I ran into David Buttery. Oh, Buttery, please give me a call before I turn in my petition. Give me that interview, buddy. For history's sake. For history's sake. I know you're going to watch this, because I know you tune in a little bit. He told me my dates and my numbers are off. He said I'm sorely mistaken on some things. And so I always like, when I'm sorely mistaken on numbers, I want the facts from the mouth. And so, David, give me that interview and tell me what I'm sorely mistaken. I'll come to you. Actually, we should do it at the Aquatic Center, simply because there's so many questions about the Aquatic Center I have just from a simple fact of going, if this thing is for real. Like, if I'm, either way, I'm getting involved, you know. And if Val jumps to mayor, that does open up an appointment for council. And some people have been telling me I should run for council, but I ain't that smart. I'm telling you, I can't even get my voter registration right. So who knows? Maybe people are right. It's one of those things where you look and you're like, maybe I'm not cut out for politics, because I'm not cut out for paperwork. Because this feather and ink stuff, it's just not my world anymore. I'm completely online and can plug in and do my thing, and then I can walk away and go meet with people and see and touch. But they were trying to fax something. That's the world. And you know what happened? The fax wouldn't work. This happened. This is a true story. I don't even have it recorded. I don't have it recorded. She was like, well, we have to fax it over. And even the young girl that works there, I don't want to blow people's names, but everybody knows. She was like, fax it? What? Can I scan it? No, we have to fax it. So we tried to fax it to Teller County. Listen, the donkey ran through that line a long time ago. The fax, we can scan this email and you can print it. How about that? You know? And that's what they ended up having to do, but this transition, it's an analog transition. And so, but then when I look at the city and I'm like, you don't even have a mobile-friendly website, right? People can't even look at your city on their phone without being jacked up. And so, you know, I just live in a different world. I live in a different place, you know. The websites are going to be rewritten in 2018. What I mean by that is the trend is changing even more. I'm writing crap about that. So this paperwork, this 125-year way of doing something. Oh gosh, I got to do a whole live video about that. 125 years, this is how we've been doing it. And he said that pridefully. But Mr. Buttery, if you're watching, think about what you're saying. The best those dudes had back 125 years ago was some horseback. I ain't saying nothing bad about horses. I spent more time on the back of a horse than most people could dream about, I promise you. But that was 125 years ago when we came up with this system. How much more verification does a man need than you've come to my house 100? I'm just spitting off stuff now, but now it's like hitting me. I'm like, oh my gosh. 125 years ago, this is when we wrote this system, and people still think it's the best way. Come on. Come on. Really? You don't even like a computer you got 4 years ago. There's a better system out on it. Holy smokes. I can't believe we still run our country this way. This has just opened up a whole nother can of worms. 125-year-old system here in Woodland Park. Now, I wonder why our site's not mobile friendly. Oh, this is brilliant. I got to write a whole freaking essay to a company. I'm going to write it just on that. That we think that that's a smart thing. Like we think that's a cool thing to say. The system's 125 years old. Yeah, maybe it's time for a rewrite. Maybe it's time for an upgrade. Maybe it's time for an overhaul. Maybe it's time for like something, right? Damn, where's the Elon Musk? Where's that dude for president? Let's just talk politics in general. Oprah? Come on, she gave us the secret. Oprah? Come on, where's the smart guys? You know what scares me about this list? Is that they can't even fill this list. They can't even fill a whole sheet with candidates in this town. Half these people have picked up to petition for half these people. You understand this? Like, these aren't all the candidates. These are people, some of these people are petitioning. That's the real problem with the world today. Is that that's the same thing. We got Oprah talking about president. We got Trump talking. Where are the smart people? Where are the people that aren't politicians that are going to flip, that are going to... Like, that's the problem, is maybe that is just simply the world of politics. Maybe that's a game for the politician. Or is it a game for the people? Is it still open to the people? You know, it's awesome to get a phone call from the city, say, get this stuff in order, get this thing straight. But then when I look at that list, I'm like, oh, yeah, they just want the same old. Like, there's a few new names. We got George. We got Mark. I don't know who these other people are. Kelly is old hat, old name. Hey. The city, I don't know. My wife just walked in and I'm tired of talking, so they saved my butt today. They made me all legit and legal. Game on. I need some signatures. My wife just stole a lighter. That means